Morning. Mic check, mic check. I look not awake yet. It's because I don't have my glasses on. How's that? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, no, I've been awake for about 2 hours. I'm good to go. We are good to go. Thank you, though, for asking. Okay, mic sounds good. Screen looks good. Everything looks good. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Honestly, you should be really well prepared. I gave you a lot of analysis yesterday that was very accurate, is very accurate, and is still very relevant this morning. So good morning to Foster, Big Ron, GC, MZ, King Thomas, S. Jackie, Austin, J. Solo. Hello, 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 hello. All right, let's get to it. This is SPY. We're on the 5-minute time frame, and we will be on the 5-minute time frame for anything and everything that we do analysis on. So let's remind ourselves of the setup that is given. SPY on the daily we know has been in this upward channel where it's been making the higher highs with the exception of one candle as well as higher lows. My analysis from yesterday said, who are we to step in front of this trend and stop it? Let's trade with the trend as long as this trend continues. Therefore, we look for higher highs constantly until it doesn't give us that anymore. Now, we know that we've been in a reversal market, so that is something we need to keep in the back of our mind. We know that gap ups a lot of times recently have not sustained, and we've seen a gap up that just totally V-shaped reverses and sells off. That, again, is the worst case scenario going into today. We do not want to see that. Would love to see some continuation out of this. I feel that we might, just because the weekend passed, there was a positive news catalyst that came out. A lot of stocks are reacting to that positive news catalyst in a positive manner, kind of backing my thesis that I was posting yesterday when I did my analysis. So we are hoping for follow through. The watch list is built around that. So looking at SPY, where is this trading at right now? It is not far off from that big end of day run. It is not far off from those highs at 545. Now there is a gap that starts at 548, and this is kind of iffy because the price action on my chart shows that the gap actually starts on a break of like 546. But remember, this was that day where it was showing the previous day's close up at 548, yet the price action candlesticks does not reflect that. So I am kind of confused as to where this gap actually starts, but I know that it runs all the way up to 555. So if we do get a break of 545, we then start to look for the run to the bottom side of the gap and into the gap, or already into the gap and the gap fill overhead. You may have resistance at 550, that being the whole number overhead, but I'm not super concerned about it if we've got a positive news catalyst that is pushing this market up. On the other side of things, I'm not really looking to go short today, but what I did was, because it's a gap up day, normally I would go short just under the previous day's close, but what I did was I zoomed out and I just split the price action where I see the most support and resistance. So I know that this isn't a perfect test of that resistance area, but fast forward a little bit, you've got consolidation here and then a retest there at 530. Here you've got consolidation there and then a retest at 530. And then here you've got a rejection of 530 that then flipped to support at 530. So it makes the most sense. I'm seeing the most price action react around that 530 level. Plus, with this being as much of a positive news catalyst as it is today, I am not really looking to go short on things. Ideally, I just would like to trade a trending market up to continue the gap up. So long above 545 today on SPY. I don't think that I would be any more aggressive on this. I don't feel that there's also any need to be any more conservative with this. And then short below 530. All right, so that's what we're given on SPY. Apple, next one on the watch list. Without a doubt, this is the top stock pick of the day. Apple's reaction to the positive news catalyst that I posted yesterday is doing exactly what I thought it was going to do, which is give us a gap up into a gap. So on the daily time frame, there's a gap that runs up to is it 220 or 222? Let's double check. It's 221 roughly. So let's just say $220. So there's a gap that runs to 220. The stock gapped up into the gap, which starts at 207. And what's very interesting is that the bottom side of that gap in the pre-market is already acting as a point of support. So really, you could be, if you wanted to be aggressive with a short level here, you could say, I need to see this sustain the bottom side of that gap on the daily if Apple is to continue up. And that's very valid, right? So if Apple breaks below 207, we could look to take this short because now this becomes what? This is a big gap below, isn't it? So we could potentially go short on this under 207. I wouldn't mind that trade idea. You could also be a little conservative and go short at 206. That might be a little might be a little better for you because we do expect to see some increased volatility. Or you could say, hey, I'm not even bearish on this at all. I'm not looking to take this short at all. And that's another way to approach it. But what we all should have in common here is the long level. Long at 212 for a break of your pre-market resistance. I'm not worried about that one peak up there at 215. This is going to be working on filling a gap top side up to the highs of about $220. This is a setup where I would probably break the rules to trade or take a trade in the first 5 minutes if we see an opening pop. I'm not saying that I'm going to. I'm not sure if I am. But this is that type of setup where I would. I've made videos on this before. I think I have 3, 4, 5 videos on YouTube posted about breaking the rules for profit, breaking the rules for profit, breaking the rules for profit. And all of those videos, what they have in common is me trading within the first 5 minutes, typically because there's a news catalyst that's pushing the stock up. This is a great setup, not only from a technical standpoint, but from a fundamental standpoint as well. Technically, it's got the gap to fill overhead. It's been beaten up on the daily. There's plenty of room for it to recover. Fundamentally, the news catalyst backing it. So long above 212, that should be very standard across the board. Where you place your short level on this is up to you. If you want to be aggressive on this, 207 could work. If you want to be somewhat conservative, 206 could work. Or if you just don't want to go short on this at all, don't even set a short level. I'm personally not going to set a short level. I may regret that, but I feel like this is a bullish setup to me. I don't really want to look. I'm not really looking for the reversal. That may cost me an opportunity, but this is gapped up for a reason. All right, next one on the watch list is Google. I love this setup. I really like this setup. Google on the daily looks just like anything else out there in the market, where it's got the most recent higher lows and higher highs with the exception of this one candle over here. A lot of the stocks that look that way are not trading close to the resistance of this rally day. That remember the end of the market day, a lot of stocks rallied. Well, a lot of stocks now are not currently trading at the resistance of that rally. Google is. It is. It's not far off from 160. That resistance line is very clear. Above that price point, there's room for this to recover up to probably the lower side of that 50 EMA, so 166. Can it make that type of move in one day? Yeah, absolutely. Will we get that type of move? I'm not sure. But I like it long above 160. Very cut and dry here. Now, Google, because it is at resistance and because there is a chance that we may see a V-shaped reversal, I don't want to see that. but there's a chance that we may. I'm going to place a short level on this at 156. So I'm just going off of the previous day's closing price because it is a gap up, and then I'm looking for $1 down. So on a break of the PDC, we would have a few things. Number one, we would have a rejection of the resistance line. That's going to be at 160. Number two, we would have a break of this uptrend trend line, so no longer higher lows, we'd be getting lower lows. Number three, we would be getting a green to red move on the reclaim of the PDC down to the bottom side. So all of those things tells us that we could potentially go short at 157, but I like to be a little conservative because this is primarily a bullish setup in my eyes. So I'm going $1 off, 156. Give this stock some room to flex just because we know that we've seen increased volatility in this market lately. I don't want to get faked out on anything, quite honestly. This is primarily a bullish setup too, but I think it's worth it to place a short level there. Next one on the watch list is going to be AMD. I feel the same exact way with AMD. It's a very similar setup to what we've seen. It's very similar to Google, where you had this big run kind of towards the end of the day. This morning's gap up puts it close to the resistance of that big run. A break of 98 sends this to 100 most likely. 100 is your whole number overhead. It's going to be a natural point of resistance. But what's nice is that from 98 up to 100, there is about a 2% profit margin, which is right in the realm of what we like to look for when we talk about risk to reward. Is the reward here worth the amount of risk that we would take on this trade? Risking off of 98 up to 100 gives us that 2% profit margin. That's worth it, in my opinion. Now, could this reject and sell off and break the PDC and break the uptrend trend line and do all the things that I said Google could do? Yes, it could. So I am placing a short level on this at 93, not going $1 off from the PDC because it's already about 50 cents below, and the current trade price down to 93, you're looking at about a 5% drop. I don't think it's likely that we see AMD under 93 today. Could it sell off and retest it? Maybe. Could it actually break through and sell off through it? Yes. I mean, anything can happen. We're not ruling anything out in this market. But I don't think that it's likely to happen, so I'm not too worried about taking it short at 93. 98, long above 98, break of your pre-market resistance, break of the resistance on the daily, looking for the run to 100, maybe even 100 plus. By the way, AMD also kind of moving off of that same news catalyst, so if you looked up that news catalyst, you'll know what I'm talking about. SMCI, next one on the watch list. The analysis here, a little different than anything else. It is not trading close to the resistance of this run, but it was or is trading in a bull pennant pattern, which kind of looks like that on the daily. Okay, so we're looking now at a gap up this morning, which puts it on the outside, on the top side of that bull pennant. Therefore, if we get a continuation out of this today, if we get the higher high out of this today, it is continuing the breakout. So we can look for the run then not through this resistance at 37.5, but rather to that resistance at 37.5. That gives us about a 5% profit margin. We're looking for a break of your pre-market highs. This resistance here is very clear, 35.5. We look for the continuation move long above your pre-market high. NVIDIA, no short level on this, by the way. No short level on this. NVIDIA, you're going to see the same setup again, right? It's very similar to Google. It's very similar to AMD. You've got a gap up close to the resistance from the big run day right here, long above 116. That's it. That's it. Sometimes the simpler the plan, the better. We don't have to go overboard with this stuff. Now, let me also say this. If you've got NVIDIA on your list, if you've got AMD on your list, and you've got Google on your list, and maybe even SPY, we could put SPY in there too, and all of them start to run at the same time, do not get overwhelmed because it's likely that they're all looking similar, right? It's likely that they will move similarly after market open. So I'm kind of saying if one of them goes, there's a chance that all of them go. Do not let that overwhelm you. A lot of times, this is me speaking from personal experience, a lot of times you miss opportunity just by flipping through charts. If I'm looking at NVIDIA and then I'm like, oh, let me go look at Google. Oh, wait a minute, let me go look at AMD. Wait a minute, let me go back to NVIDIA. When you do that, you're not focused in on one and you wind up missing opportunity. And then when you feel 15, 20, 30 seconds late to a move, to a breakout, you don't take the trade, right? Usually, or if you do take the trade, you feel like you're chasing. Don't let that happen to you today. Choose the setup on the stock that you like the most. If you like the way Google moves, trade Google. If you like NVIDIA over AMD, trade NVIDIA, or watch NVIDIA. Watch them like a hawk. Pick the 2 or 3 that you like the most and just really hone in and watch it. There's no need to be flipping all over the place if they're all moving the same way. We're not going to take trades on all of these. I can already tell you right now. If all of them move, I'll probably just pick one and hope that I pick the one that gives us follow through. Last one on the list is PLTR. PLTR on the daily time frame, PLTR was kind of giving us a little bit of a bull flag. It's not super pretty, but here's what we have. Break of the downtrend trend line, then another downtrend trend line. After it reclaims the 50 EMA, pulls back and holds that 50 EMA as a point of support. So then what do we look for from here? The breakout move, right? The breakout move topside, which would be a break of, let's just say, 94 or 95. Well, you saw the move here in the pre-market 5-minute time frame. It's well above 95. We're going to look for the continuation run out of this 96, long above your pre-market high. PLTR, long above your pre-market high at this time, which is going to be 96. We may have to continue to move that up as long as this stock continues to make higher highs. If this gets above 98 in the pre-market, it's going to feel too extended because we know that 100 is our price target, being that that's the whole number. And anything above 98 shrinks down our profit margin up to 100, which means that the reward shrinks, which means that the risk widens, and the risk to reward ratio is off there. So PLTR stays on the watch list unless it opens up above 98, and then we probably take it off. Cool. All right, that's the full list. By the way, if you tuned in late, this is available for you to play back from the beginning. So as soon as I end this stream, you can press play from the beginning and rewatch it. To the team, we are trading live today. To anybody that's new to the Discord server, here's how you get there. You're going to scroll down to the bottom left-hand side of the server. You're going to see a channel called the Arena underneath the voice channels heading. That is where we will conduct the live trading. So not here on YouTube, but over there on Discord. I'm going to end the stream now. I'll get the watch list posted for you on Discord, and then we will meet over in the Arena. I'll be there in about 10 or 15 minutes to conduct the live trading for the day. Be careful of the extension up. I would love to see a continuation today. The trend lately has been that we don't get continuations from these gap ups, so don't get overly excited. Do keep in mind that a V-shaped reversal back down is very possible. That will be the worst case scenario today. If we see that happen, what are we going to do? We're subject to market conditions, but we would just love to see a continuation topside and this market continue to recover from the sell-off that it's had recently. All right, take care. Hopefully we can go make some money today and choose the right setups, and I'll see you over in the Discord server. Thank you for your time this morning. Hope the reviews helped. Cheers.